What does your attorney misconduct have to do with your case?
Because he never served me, and
No. I don't give a shit about that. What
yeah,
does it have to do with the order? Do you have an order that makes you pay? There's an order somewhere that's
yeah,
you're responsible for child support. Focus on the order.
yeah,
Undo the order. All that other stuff, I don't want to make this a vulgar situation because we're here on an
yeah,
afternoon
yeah.
clean this thing up to put it back on YouTube.
But but
Listen,
but but
on
it turned out to be like arrears. It was not even about,
focus on whether the arrears were properly calculated. The order. If it were me, I
yeah,
would do this. I can't give legal advice. Don't take
correct.
it to be legal advice, but focus
Right.
on your order. You don't hear me talking about, man, I used to date this chick and she used to do this for me. Now she don't do that. That don't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
The
right. You're
order.
right.
The order. No, I'm not right. It's the order. I didn't go in there and say, hey, whatever that motherfucker name was. Hey, dude, I don't like your shirt. I ain't talk about that. I talked about did you serve me
Hmm.
properly?
Hmm.
Correct.
That's it.
Correct.
That's it.
Focus on the rules of your state
Yeah.
or,
Yeah.
or wherever you're at. Focus on those rules.
And tell them what you found out the other day, Rick, because now that you're here,
In regards to what?
your case being set off because you
Okay.
find the rule.
I applied the rule, fellas. Pretty much as Greg continuously keep explaining, like he ain't gonna teach you shit, but he gonna tell you where to go. That's just point blank period. And
Right.
he
Uh-oh, I think we dropped Rick.
under the rules of my state.
Okay.
The rules of my state.
It's not none of this stuff is that difficult. It just takes work, people. Due diligence. And listen, they don't build. It's like I tell people about Vegas. Everybody thinks Vegas takes big hits. They ain't giving comp rooms and building them big ass hotels and casinos giving away money. Trust me, they take in more than they give out. And those courthouses don't get to be those judges' chambers and all that stuff don't get to be built that nicely with them just saying, hey, you come in here and wave a piece of paper, and the judge is gonna go there and lay up under the desk in a fetal position and hope that you don't ever come back um ever again. And I'm sorry, you can have your relief. It just doesn't work that way. If it worked that way, nobody would have an issue. And I'm not saying that that to be like the downer guy or whatever, or the piss in your cereal. But the reality is a lot of the stuff that people are talking about is bullshit. Straight bullshit. Otherwise, they can show you and it could explain it to you in a coherent manner. I'm gonna say this: a person who's been in a courtroom that I see that I see you talking about Abraham. The this stuff is not so complicated, but I believe that people are captivated by a bunch of rhetoric. But if a person has been in a courtroom and you've been in a courtroom before, the language that they explain to you will sound almost like courtroom quote unquote rhetoric. If they're explaining it to you and it sounds like some fascinating, I saw ET and I met Darth Vader, you might want to step away from that shit. Unless they can show you they can make some shit move. Uh,
Hmm.
all that other stuff, it has to be based in something, man.
Yeah.
And I'm a little frustrated. And really,
So
one of the reasons I started doing this is because the people who are calling me are telling me the same story. And you're
yeah.
lucky you don't have a guy that I know who I saw in that courtroom because his delivery ain't nothing like mine.
Hmm.
It's gonna be a lot more rough, but the reality is this stuff is time consuming, but I think people are wasting time on stuff that's not going to get you results. Focus.
So how do we address this? So like the summary of the last page, right? So he claimed that the
Issue,
staff attorney
issue.
said that,
No,
he mailed it to me, and
hold on.
he's saying like an email.
You hear me? Listen, bro.
Yeah.
What is your issue? What is the rule? Apply the rule to the issue. Conclude why you're entitled to relief. If you want the other stuff, I would have to be able to see it because the only story I ever liked involved Erica Kane, Susan Lucci. That's all my children.
Hmm.
I'm Jack Webb, just the facts. And I'm not
Yeah.
a priest, I'm not the Pope, and I'm not Usher, so I don't need no confessions. Right? It's either
Yeah.
we deal with it within the parameters that I can explain it. All that other,
Hmm.
I would just tell you politely, you have to go to whoever can explain that to you. I've never,
Yeah.
and I've been
Okay.
over
Okay.
200, I've been in the courtroom over 200 times by myself.
By yourself. Wow. Yeah. That's no joke. That takes a lot of brass and courage.